Welcome back to On a Journey with Giselle. I'm your host, Giselle, and I am back. And guess what, you all? I am a new age. I am now have entered in my first year of being 30. I'm officially 31. It's been good. And y'all, my birthday, it was amazing. It was amazing. I I gotta let you know. This episode is resting in rhythm, my birthday reflection in freedom. Ooh, how you like that? Consistency and letting life happen. So let's just talk about that, right? My birthday was good. It was what I needed. Um, I really felt special by the ones that made me feel special. And I'm so grateful for that. I didn't have any plans. I didn't make any plans. I just was like, I don't want to plan. I want peace. And I'm really like, I can't express how much the people that showed up meant to me because they did and they showed up and it was beautiful. It wasn't many, but it was few, but it was valuable. And I just wanted to say that because oftentimes we think we have to have a bunch of people around us. We have to have all these plans and it means that it's meaningful, and then when you have less of that it means it's not. But that was the exact opposite for me. I had few, but it was so much and it was so impactful. And to my people that were in my life during my birthday week, showed love, showed consistency, showed time, showed up, thank you for the birthday wishes, thank you for the birthday time, thank you. A lot of other things happened during my birthday too. If you have not yet gotten it, like we talked about on a couple episodes previously, my book and my fitness journal is officially out. Whole Body Consistency and the Disciplined Warrior fitness journal is out. So that will be linked in the bio. And also you can go to my Instagram and purchase that as well. It's available. And guess what, y'all? I know I'm not trying to be in your pocket, but I'm just letting you know it's not at a high price. $10. Go ahead and purchase it. Start your journey to transformation and learn how you can be and stay consistent, not just physically, but mentally, nutritionally, spiritually, if that's for you. Learn how you can do it. And that's why I created this, because I want you, not only are we on this journey together, but consistency is an everyday thing. So let's get into it and let's do it. So make sure you do that. But I'm back and I'm happy to be back. I wanted to ask you this before we get into the show. As I've taken this time to rest, as I've taken this time to just reflect and really not plan, I was like, when was the last time I did this? So I wanted to ask you, I want you, as you go through your week or whenever you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time that I gave myself permission to rest without guilt? When's the last time you've done that? And what would that look like if you simply just celebrated you? What would that look like? Don't take too much thought into it. Just let it flow. And that's where the realness comes in and the authenticity comes in at. So that's what I want you to think about. That. Write that in your journal. When was the last time I gave myself permission to just rest without guilt? And what would that look like? So, y'all, let's get into the show. I'm back. I really want to just talk about how I had a different type of celebration. Like I said, I didn't make any plans. I said yes to what came to me on my birthday. Legitly, I had no plans. I did something I haven't done in a long time. Gave myself permission to binge watch television. I found a great series, a competitive show on Netflix, and I went at it and just chilled. I did my normal workout. I spent time with God, which I appreciated. And a person special in my life showed up for me. And that person was like, I didn't even know you weren't doing anything. And if I did, I knew I would have done more. And I was like, just even that right there meant a lot to me. And it's just like, you know, the people that are supposed to be there are going to be there, and you don't have to force it, right? And that was something that I've learned. So, and that's how I plan to move on, move in life. Is just because I love to plan, and this time I chose to not plan. It taught me to choose presence over pressure. choosing presence over pressure. Oftentimes, whether it's a birthday, whether it's an event like a graduation, and I'm not saying don't plan, but sometimes when you give yourself permission to just let the present be, it shows up more for you, and the moments and the memories and the feelings are more impactful, right? So I learned that though I didn't have any plans, though I just was resting, I don't need an itinerary. I need itinerary. I need intention, and that's something that's very big for me. As I was doing my vision board for year 31, something that I wrote was be intentional. So another way to be consistent is to be intentional and not having a plan and letting presence uh take over or presence be a part of your life. You're creating intention, right? And so that's what something I learned during this time of having a different celebration. It also taught me something that I reflected on that I want to take into 31 is to walk in freedom and authenticity. Now, I know you might be thinking, like, Giselle, you haven't been authentic. No, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I have those moments where I'm like, I'm not, I have things that I'm healing through, and sometimes it doesn't allow me to be my full authentic self or walk in freedom. You know, there's boundaries that I'm learning to set and learning to break free from people pleasing, learning to express how I'm truly feeling. So, this year my birthday aligned with my theme for consistency because it showed me that even though I didn't have any plans, I was being in the present, I still had intentions that I wanted to hold to, and that was spending time in my word, spending time, you know, moving my body, even if I did watch binge watch. And this redefined consistency for me. Like, consistency is not just about doing the same routine. It's about being intentional in what's truly you. Fitness is truly me. Maintaining my body, maintaining my mental health, maintaining my nutrition, that's truly me. So staying present and being intentional about that showed me that. So I was really like, you know, in it. You know, I didn't know how to define how I felt during this. And, you know, for me, I found that freedom looks like honoring what I need in the moment and sticking and not sticking to a checklist. So I've gotten backlash because you know, if somebody asks me what I want to do, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, let's just go with the flow. Let's go with the vibe. And that bothers people. And I'm not trying to say like I'm not a good decision maker, right? But for me, like when it comes to creating memories, when it comes to spending time with people, I don't like a checklist because it takes away from the authenticity and it takes away from the freedom for people and myself to just be. And I learned that about myself during this period of rest for me. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but I want to say sometimes, you know, appreciate who you are. You know, don't back down who you are because people don't understand. Everybody needs somebody like you, right? My ability to be spontaneous is needed for somebody that I know or somebody in my life that is a planner or is somebody that, you know, is type A, right? Because they're like, okay, well, Giselle's going to bring the liveliness, right? So who you are is needed for somebody in your life. So don't change who you are. Walk in freedom in that. So sometimes it doesn't feel good, right? But sometimes you just have to adjust to your body being still in that and who you are. Authenticity, that is authenticity, being still in who you are, not just sitting still, not just doing that, but just being firm and standing on business of this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be. And this is what it is, being still and doing just that. And then lastly, like I rested, y'all. Like I said, I don't want to plan. I don't want to do this and that. Like I just want to be. I rested. And resting isn't just about sleeping. Let me just say that resting is not just about sleeping. Although I did take some good naps in between. But also at the same time, I realized that resting is like taking away the pressure of having to be productive, right? Because I didn't work out at 5 a.m., because I didn't eat at a certain time, or I didn't write down my goals for the day, I didn't do my gratitude, didn't mean I wasn't being productive. You know, during the time when I was resting, being still and who I was, of not knowing sometimes what I wanted to do at that moment, but feeling how I wanted to feel, it allowed me to create creativity. It allowed me to, focus on putting out what was present in front of me, my book, and sending it to people, etc., etc. It allowed me to watch television and journal in ways that I didn't before, versus just sticking to a routine. I was able to write down how I felt. I was able to write down things that, I want to see in my future. Even though I worked out and even though I spent time with the Lord, I did it when I wanted to, versus like a routine. Your routine is something that you keep doing just to stay in a momentum or going. But when you're present, you're just allowing it to come to you. And that goes back to us being consistent and being intentional. Um, so I was really glad that for once, I allowed myself to exist without a performance. And I know you might be thinking like, Giselle, you've been performing in your house, you've been performing. No, but like when you get attached to these routines, it is a performance. It is something that you're continuously doing, and you're thinking and you ingrate it in your mind. Like, I have to do it. I have to perform this way. I have to do this. And it allowed me to create this model that I have to remind myself. Rest is productive. It's a part of growth. Rest is productive. It's a part of growth. And when you do that, you learn more about yourself. You learn that what you like, hey, I really don't like working out at this time. Or, hey, I feel better when I do this. So I say all that to say, and I keep bringing up certain aspects of my routine, because consistency can still show up, even if it's a slow week or even if you're resting. You still can be consistent about the things that matter the most and the things that you're intentional about. And it's during the time of rest will you identify what is important to you. Like I said, I still connected with and had my relationship with God. I still did physical movement, and I participated in my health. I was still able to dream. I was still able to be uh, creative through reflecting. And I still even had social connection, right? I just didn't have plans. I was present. And so with that, like I said, my presence allowed me to appreciate and adapt to those that were showing up. I didn't force myself to like go make plans. I allowed others to say, hey, are you free? Are you feeling this? Are you want to doing this? Like, choose, it's for you. But I still was able to stay aligned and be present. So I was consistent, I was just gentle, and I was choosing peace over pressure. And that's what I want to encourage you. And this is why I'm doing this whole episode, just to encourage peace over pressure, presence over productivity and performance, because all of that, it just can cloud what might be trying to come out of you and what that authenticity and freedom might look like for you. And so my biggest lesson from this past week was that I can be consistent and I can still be still, that I am ambitious. I do have ambition, and I just need to move at my own rhythm, right? And then I can be like social without overextending myself, and then I don't like overextending myself. And when I do overextend myself, I shut down. So that's something that I learned about myself this week. Another thing is that peace can be planned. I took off. I knew I was not going to work. I knew that I was not going to do anything. I knew I did not have an idea. But I knew that my plan in this planned piece was going to help me be aligned with myself. And that is something that I'm celebrating. And that's something that I learned for myself during this week. Another aspect is something that I want to encourage you, and that is freedom. There is freedom in consistency. And I want you to take time to yourself and find out what is freedom and consistency for you. What does that look like for you? Like, is it taking a week off, or is it just doing something different? Is it switching up your routine? Is it being more social? How can you be more present? How can you be more grateful? My week of rest and resetting is going to be different than yours, but I wanted to talk about how you can still find consistency, how you can still find freedom, how you still can find letting life happen in the presence of peace. All right. So yeah, that was my birthday. I had a good time with the brunch, went to dinner, hung out with special people in my life, and it was really great. Caught up on some shows, and I just want to thank you all for allowing me to take time to reflect. I hope you got some nuggets. If you have not already, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I want you to comment below, like, what does freedom mean to you? What does authenticity mean to you? And how can you take steps to walk towards that in this coming week? It doesn't have to be long. Just break it down. Like this, share this with a friend. And don't forget, if you have not, go ahead. Link is in the bio. Also, you can go to On a Journey with G. That the book link will be there as well. And I just want to leave you with an affirmation, which is a scripture, but it comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. And the scripture is, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Staying close to Him, being in His being in His presence, staying close to Him, there's freedom. So take that with you. What does rest look like for you? And how can you celebrate freedom and not pressure? Comment below. Write that in your prompt for your journals. Take a week. And remember, y'all, I believe in y'all. You must believe in yourself, and you define your destiny. It all starts with belief, and that's what's going to turn the mind. All right, y'all. So I'm checking out. Until next time, I got more coming. Go ahead and get the books. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share. And like I always say, until next time, peace, love, and happiness.